I'm RJ Starr, a theorist and professor of theoretical and integrative psychology. If you've spent any time with psychology content online, you know the usual shape of it. Someone gives you a label, which personality type your coworker is, which disorder explains your ex, 10 things to do about your anxiety. Some of it's fine, but that's not what I do here, and I want to tell you plainly what this channel is before you decide whether to continue. This is not a place that hands out diagnoses, labels, villains, or verdicts. It's a place for understanding the structures underneath human experience and behavior. How your own mind works first, then through that, how other people's do. If that interests you, you're in the right place. Let me talk about what a theorist is and what a theorist is not. So I want to start with a distinction most people have never had a reason to think about because it changes how you should hear everything I say after it. A clinician works with individual people, a therapist, a psychologist in practice, a psychiatrist. They assess, they diagnose, they treat. Someone sits across from them with a specific problem, and their job is to help that specific person. That's clinical work, and it's valuable, but it's not what I do. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't treat patients. I don't diagnose people. I don't take individual cases. Saying so is not a disclaimer that I'm reluctantly attaching to my work. It's a description of a different kind of work entirely. A theorist studies structure, not individual cases. We look at the machinery underneath all of them, how perception, memory, emotion, a sense of self, and the search for meaning fit together and operate as a system. A clinician, you see, asks what's happening with this particular person and how we can help them. A theorist asks something different. How is this built? How does it actually work? And why does it keep organizing a person's experience the way it does, long after the circumstances that first shaped it are gone? Theoretical psychology is the layer underneath the practice, the models, the frameworks, the accounts of mechanism that clinical work later draws on. When I teach it, I'm not training people to counsel patients. I'm teaching them how to think about the structure of the mind, how to build a model, test it against what we observe, and hold several partial explanations at once without collapsing them into one neat and tidy answer. Integrative means I don't work from a single school of thought. I'm interested in how the pieces from different traditions fit together into a working whole. So hear these videos in that register. I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with you or what's wrong with your parents. I'm going to show you how the system works and let you see your own workings inside it. The label and verdict version of psychology feels like insight. You learn a term, you attach it to someone, and for a moment it feels like understanding. But most of the time, you've just ended the inquiry. The label arrives and the questions stop. You've sorted the person into a category. And sorting is not understanding. It's usually just judgment with better vocabulary. What I want to offer is the opposite, a way of thinking that shows you the structure underneath a behavior instead of a label to paste over it. It's slower, it's harder, because it doesn't hand you a verdict. But it also explains far more than a label ever can. And it's more honest about how complicated a whole person actually is, including you. That's the offer, one that opens your mind to new ideas and to the real possibility of understanding yourself and the people around you more clearly than a label will ever give you. Now, I want to be direct in how we speak with each other here about how this space works. I'll say it once, plainly, the way any professor states expectations at the start of a term, and then we'll move on. Think of this channel as a classroom. My job is to keep a respectful, open environment where every serious person is welcome and real debate is encouraged. Part of keeping it is protecting it. So if someone becomes disrespectful or inappropriate, they're quietly removed from the conversation so the room stays useful to everyone else. They won't be told, and I don't revisit the decision or debate it in the comments. Then we carry on. If you came here to think, you'll never once run into this. It's worth saying so, only so the expectation is clear. Two more things this channel's not. First, everything here is educational. It's about structure, about how minds work in general, not about any one particular person's situation. I don't address personal circumstances, and I don't answer comments that ask me to. That isn't coldness. It follows directly from what a theorist does. I work at the level of the general model, and I'm not a licensed clinician, so a comment section is not the place for personal advice. If a video helps you understand your own situation more clearly, that's exactly what I hope for. The impulse to bring your own situation is the right one, and that's work that only you can do. The way to honor it is to take the framework back to your situation, where you have access to details I never will. I'm giving you the framework, not a reading of your life. And second, this is not a place to diagnose other people, not a place to collect labels and pin them on your coworker, on your ex, on your mother. That's the exact habit I'm trying to move you away from. The work here starts inward. You watch how your own mind interprets, reacts, defends, and makes meaning. Once you see that clearly in yourself, you carry that into how you understand everyone else. You come to recognize that everyone around you is running the same kind of machinery that you are. That recognition is the point, not a stock of labels to assign. So that's this channel. I'm a theorist, not a therapist. I'm interested in the structure underneath behavior, not the label we paste on top of it. I'd rather show you how the machinery works than hand you a verdict about anyone, yourself included. If you want the version of psychology that gives you names to end a conversation, there's a lot of it out there, and it's easy to find. But if you want a way of thinking that opens the conversation up, that makes you a more careful observer of yourself and a more generous one of other people, then stay. Watch a few of these videos. Follow where the ideas lead. The comments are open. I'd rather this be a conversation than a broadcast, so talk to each other, follow the ideas, and use whatever turns out to be useful. Welcome. Let's get to work.